What's up, guys? I'm back. Guys, bear with me. I just put my new Invisalign in, so if I am stuttering or lisping, I'm so sorry. But anyways, let's just go ahead and jump into this video because I know some of you have been waiting for it, and I posted a teaser a couple weeks ago, and I just need to get this out there. So I'm re-recording this because I just wanted to record it on my camera. But by the title of this video, I'm sure you guys have a hint onto what I'm going to be talking about. I just want to disclaim before I even start getting into this, I'm doing this for myself because I feel like I deserve to tell my truth and what I went through the past 10 months, and this has nothing to do with any of the girls that I worked with or any of the staff. Love all of them. They're like family to me, and I am so happy that I have formed those bonds and those friendships will last a lifetime. But again, I do need to tell my truth, and this is what that video is about. And so let's get into it. Just to give a little backstory, I originally started the Delilahs in 2020, but that only lasted like a month. And then I got COVID. I ended up quitting. We parted ways on mutual terms because I just needed to take care of my health and whatnot. And then fast forward to 2023, or the very end of 2023, in December, I came back to Savannah because I was living in Charleston, and they had auditions, and I had DM'd them once and no response, and then I DM'd them again, and then I got a response. Ended up going to auditions, tried out, got the job, so forth, so on. So the first couple of months, I would say the first 3 months, were fine. Like, nothing too crazy was going on. I was only in 2 dances for a little while, but that was nothing to be like surprised about, considering I was like new and they were just getting out of Christmas and New Year's Eve time, jumping to another set list, so all that was understood. Things didn't start getting bad. I honestly couldn't even tell you when things started getting bad and I started being targeted and bullied and belittled by my director choreographer. We'll just call her Abby. If you get it, you get it. I couldn't really tell you, but it started off with like little things. A girl that had previously danced there, she ended up leaving and she had wigs underneath her desk, and I moved into her station. If I had known there were wigs under the table, I would have picked them up and put them away. But I didn't look under the table, my bad. I get a text saying that, it's how rude it is to leave wigs that she's bought underneath the table and to keep my station clean and blah, blah, blah. Okay, heard, understood. I told her that, I didn't even know they were down there, and if I had, I wouldn't have done that. And so then a couple weeks later, I had like a pair of dance boots and some tights underneath my station. Meanwhile, other people had dance shoes underneath their station as well. And then she texts me and says, actually, I have receipts. She says, last reminder to keep your area clean. Our pay is deducted each week. It's in the contract you signed, so just giving you another heads up. I know for a fact that that was not in the contract. Like, I read that contract and nowhere in there did it say if you don't keep your station clean, your pay is gonna get deducted, even though my station wasn't dirty. I took the high road and I was like, you know what, I heard you, got it, understood, won't happen again. Fast forward to my friend leaving the Delilahs because she had graduated college and went off to go back home, and we had a duet that was in there for exactly 1 month. Me and another dancer were supposed to do that duet after the other dancer left, but then she just cut it out completely. So I went from being in 3 dances back to 2 dances, and again, I was just like, whatever, because she had, mentioned giving me a solo. I was super excited about it and loved the song. Get into rehearsal, and the choreography that she gave me was so subpar. And it was quite honestly, it was embarrassing to do on stage. But, finding somewhere to dance after you graduate and you age out of competitive dance is kind of hard, especially when you're not looking to go like pro. And I love burlesque, and I loved having that outlet, so I just kept my mouth shut a steady pay each weekend, so couldn't be mad at that. And so I just got my mouth shut. She gives me the costume, whatever. Love the costume, but I swear she spent more time working on that costume and the projection lights than she did the dance itself. It just was not showing my capabilities as a dancer at all, and I hated getting up on stage and doing it every single weekend. So I had this like skirt thing that goes around my corset, and the string for the stage person to take it off had broken. So I was supposed to put it in the laundry. I had forgot twice, not on purpose. I'm not purposely leaving, like I'm not purposely doing this to make her mad or like for it to not be fixed because I didn't want to do it. I just genuinely forgot. And she makes a big deal out of it, and she's like, I worked really hard on that dance and I would like the costume to work properly. I get that, but like there's another way to go about telling me that than being rude about it. I just think that like I respect you, you respect me, and I just felt like she had zero respect for me as a person, as her employee, because it's just as much as she's giving me a job, I'm also providing a service. So it's really not that hard to be kind, but you know, that happened. And there was just like little things that she would say, like at rehearsal, or just the way that she would say things was very passive aggressive, and she made it very obvious that she had a problem with me, but without trying to make it obvious. There was a time that my girlfriend came to see the show, and like a week later, Abby gets a DM about how it was really disappointing to see one of her dancers out in the bar all over her significant other, and how I was looking at my significant other the whole time during the show and I wasn't looking at anybody else, and so her partner was uncomfortable looking at me because some bullshit. Actually, I think I still have, here we go. We came for another show this evening and we're so bummed. Miss your old shows. There was less dancing than we remember. Not a lie. So awkward walking into my we're sitting with her partner all over her. And then in the front row during the show, clearly more engaged with her date than the audience. We certainly didn't want to cheer or participate as much. I found my date keeping an eye on the performer's partner more than the show, as she felt she was disrespecting their relationship. I did the same. It was so awkward. This message is crazy to me because, first off, when we were even out in the bar, we weren't even holding hands. We were like face to face talking to each other, but we weren't kissing, we weren't hugging. So I really don't know what PDA this person is referring to. And then also in the actual show, yes, my partner did sit up front. And yes, I was looking at her because I'm allowed to do that. And I was looking at the audience as well. Also, it's not my problem that your partner decided to keep looking at my partner because they felt like, who cares? Like, my girlfriend, she knows what I'm doing. She's up there. She like, there's a whole audience behind her. Like, no one else gave a fuck. The only people that gave a fuck was this couple. And then my boss, Abby, did not have my back whatsoever. She posted it in the group chat, which everybody knew who it was about because no one else's partners had come to see the show besides mine in like the recent weeks. So she posted in the group chat for everybody to see instead of coming to me personally and talking to me about it and resolving the issue or asking me what happened, because she was not there, even though she said that she was there, which I know for a fact that she wasn't. But she asked this person to go into more detail about what happened, still not asking me what happened, but then comes back and says that they're valid in feeling how they felt and they went into more detail and they were right and I was wrong, basically. Which, again, you never even got my side of the story, which is crazy because I'm your employee. I work for you. They don't. And they're probably like, they literally just insulted your show. But go off. So that was like the first like real like thing that really bugged me, or that I was like, oh, so this is what we're doing. And so that's just one thing out of so many things. Let's talk about her wanting us to be full-time employees for, I wouldn't even say part-time pay. She says that it's a part-time job, but then wants full-time hours. You get mad, she gets mad when your schedule does not convenience her. If you can inconvenience her in any way when it comes to scheduling, she will make you the problem. She will tell you that you're the problem, that you're difficult to schedule. Meanwhile, she won't accommodate, or she says that she tries to accommodate, but when we're all in the group chat talking about schedules, and none of us are free because we have other jobs to pay our bills, because $250 a weekend is not paying anybody's bills. It's hardly paying for groceries. So there's no accommodation in that, makes it all our fault. But yeah, as soon as you inconvenience her, it's an issue. And I just don't think that if you want us to be full-time employees, pay us more. You're gonna get mad at me because I can't make it to rehearsal because I have the flu, and I can't make it to rehearsal because my uncle was in the hospital. But you're not paying us for rehearsal. So what, like, I just don't understand. Also, marketing, her marketing is absolute shit. I can't tell, I don't even think I'm in one picture in, no, actually I am. I think I'm in one picture on the Instagram page. I've been there since December. It is November. They used to have, before I came back, they used to have a shit ton of photo shoots. Marketing was better. And then I came back and I feel like all of that just declined. Like, I kind of feel like, but I feel like she just kind of checked out. She makes everything everybody else's fault, and she will never take blame for anything ever. Like, please tell me why she says, like, she doesn't want to show any special treatment to anybody because she doesn't want people to think that it's okay for everybody to do, as far as like taking weekends off. And the rule is if you don't work because we have shows Thursday through Saturday. Say you don't work Thursday because you're sick, or I don't know, something happens. You're not working for the rest of that weekend. That's just how she does things. Until a couple months ago, and we had like a tornado warning, tornado watch, something like that. The signs were going off. Me and the rest of the group got to work and made it to work. One person did not. And, you know, we all assumed, oh, well, she's not going to work the rest of the weekend since she called out tonight. Shows up the next day, and no tea, no shade to this dancer, love her, she's super sweet, but didn't you say that if you don't work one day, you can't work the rest of the weekend, but then you just let somebody else work the rest of the weekend? When another dancer had something happen, like something happened in the family, and you wouldn't let her take off one day to go be with her family and work the rest of the weekend, is insane to me. Because we all made it to work. Just throwing that out there. Now targeting me in a way that it's affecting what roles I have in dances. This is when I started to get really pissed, because I am an experienced dancer. I know what I'm doing, and I'm good at my job. She starts giving me less and less parts. She's giving a more inexperienced dancer more opportunities than me, and this is not a jealousy thing. I don't care. Again, like, this dancer worked her ass off and she deserves everything that, like, I'm not saying that she's not deserving of the part or the parts that she was given, but I know Abby and how she is and how she does things as far as dances go and roles that she gives. And considering I had been there since December, and this other dancer didn't come in until a couple months later, and she has had more dances than I've had since I've been there, since December. We do a number to Cell Block Tango, and every single person gets at least like 4 8 counts of a duet with the male dancer that we had. You wanna know how many seconds I got? Like 5. And then when we were in rehearsal doing it, she rushes my part and then immediately goes to somebody else, when the whole entire time she was spending like 5-10 minutes with each person on their duet except for me. And then when I asked to like go over my part just to make sure I had it correctly, she was like, well, we really need to finish this first. And like completely just like, you know, whatever, we'll get to you when we get to you. And honestly, the part's not hard at all, but like I felt so embarrassed, and I like was seeing that everybody else was getting these parts and these like great duet parts, and I was given the shit end of the stick basically, when I don't feel like I deserve that at all. And then we were in another rehearsal for another dance. I have asthma. I have an inhaler, it's handled, I take care of it, I deal with it. I'm not gonna die. And it does not affect my dancing. But there was this one rehearsal where I had already felt like shit all day. I was sick, still showed up to rehearsal, working my ass off, trying to like push through. At the very end of rehearsal, she was like, we're gonna go over it twice and then record it the third time. I asked her to sit out one time, one run through, and that was it. I was like, can I just sit out this one run through and then I'll like jump in when we video? And then she's like, oh, well, we'll just stop for today. She was like, we can record it without you. And then makes a side comment saying how good it would look as a trio. Okay, then go and make it a trio then. Like, you're the director. If you really don't want me in it, why am I in it? And then and then after that, we get out of rehearsal and she texts me and tells me that, here we go. Hey, I hope you're feeling better. Your health has been a consistent concern for me. You regularly struggle during practices and even your long performances. Even 1 hour long performances, sorry. I think you should take a day to really consider if this job is good for you and your health. I'll get back to you on Wednesday to see what you've decided. Because I asked to sit out one run through, you think that I'm not capable of doing my job? That's crazy, honestly, because I've danced my whole life and never have I ever had a teacher or a choreographer come to me and be like, if you don't get your asthma together, I'm kicking you out of the dance. Never in my 24 years of life. And, you know, I still kept it cordial. I said, you know, thank you for checking in on me, but I don't think that this rehearsal should, you know, dictate what I'm capable of in all aspects. And then she says that she's not basing it off of this practice alone, and that's where her concern lies. It has definitely been a consistent struggle, but if you say you're fine, I will take your word for it and expect that it doesn't continue. Do you want me to rub a lamp and grant my wish and tell him get rid of my asthma? Like, it doesn't work like that. And also, where's like the care and concern? Like, where's like the what can I do to help you? Or like, what can we do? Like, as a team, I just was so baffled by that response. But again, I kept my mouth shut, I bit my tongue, and I let it go. Because I wanted to dance, so I just kept my mouth shut. And this was very hard for me because I am the person that if I'm being disrespected or if I feel like I'm being bullied or belittled, it is very hard for me to keep my mouth shut because I used to do that when I was a kid and I didn't know how to stand up for myself, and now that I do, I don't take shit. So for me to keep my mouth shut for the little pay that I was getting paid took a lot out of me. And it was getting to a point where I hated the fucking dances I was in. I hated it, I hated it, I hated every single moment of it. I simply was there because I loved the girls that I danced with and we were so close, and I just didn't want to let that go. So I just dealt with it. But you could see it on my face on stage that I really just didn't give a fuck. Like, I did not care. I was up there straight face like, this is boring as fuck. My talents are not being showcased at all. She doesn't give a fuck if I'm here or not. She probably does. She does. I know she doesn't want me here, but she doesn't have a reason to fire me. So my theory is that she was bullying and doing all this shit to try and run me out, and it just wasn't working. So she just kept upping her game. I don't know. But let's talk about one time where I had lost a check and I asked her to rewrite me another one. She made a huge deal about it. Such an inconvenience for her. Super mad, super upset about it. It's really not that deep. It's really not that deep. I ended up finding the check, by the way, and everything was fine. But I'm sitting here trying to be calm and respectful and be like, hey, like because I didn't mean to. And she's just making me feel like shit for it for whatever reason. And, you know, whatever, that's over, that's done with. And then here we come to having to cut our pay. So we were getting paid a base pay of $250, $260 every weekend, no matter what. Even if we had canceled a show, we were getting $250 every single weekend. Until she was having financial problems within the business and she had to cut our pay back to door sales. So however many tickets we sell, that's going to be like, that's gonna play a part in what we get paid. We were already not getting paid shit, so now we have to worry about not getting paid even less. And some of us, that was our only job at the time. That was my only job at the time. And then most narcissistic thing I've read in a long time, I don't know what is. She says, so this is like, I guess her like telling us that like normally when we cancel shows and you go home early, I still pay you as if you stayed and performed. Unfortunately, I can't afford to do that anymore. So if a show is canceled and your hours are less, you will have to be paid by the hour. I enjoy being able to pay you extra when I can, but unfortunately that's just not where we're at right now. Hopefully things will get back to normal soon. We read it, none of us responded. Because like, I mean, I'm sure all of us were taking that in and being like, okay, so like we need to figure some stuff out. It wasn't because we were purposely ignoring her or we didn't give a shit or we were trying, I don't know what she thought in her head that we were trying to do, but it literally wasn't anything personal. And then, so when no one responds, she then comes back and says, well, thanks for the concern and support. I guess things like that tend to become expected and maybe that's the problem with being so giving in the first place. I want to read that again. I guess things like that tend to become expected and maybe that's the problem with being so giving in the first place. Ma'am, $800 a month? What is that doing? Because that's not even paying a lot of people's rent. So I just don't know where being so giving came into play here. I don't know about that. And I just couldn't stop reading it because like I don't even know what to say back to that. What do I say? You're right. You do so much. You pay us $250 a weekend every weekend. Thank you. Like I didn't tell you to go back to SCAD. I didn't tell you to put your kids in competitive dance. You did that. And you even sat there and said, I don't know how I'm gonna juggle all three. I don't know how I'm gonna do all three. So if you just put two and two together, do you get where this is going? Like, I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. Like, I see her for who she is, and I saw her bullshit, and I just got fed the fuck up. Like, I just wasn't doing it anymore. And it was after the Halloween show. I think it was the last weekend we did the Halloween show, and that Thursday I literally had a mental breakdown in the car, like bawling my eyes out. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to dance. Like, I just had gotten to the end of my rope with her, and I just was miserable. Like, walking in there made me miserable. I was not happy. My mental health was declining. My physical health, because I was so stressed out, was declining. Because I was so scared that I was gonna walk in, if I had an asthma attack, her be like, yeah, I think we need to let you go. Like, I shouldn't have to be scared of that when I'm going into my job. Like, let me worry about my health, and if I feel like I can't keep up anymore, I will let you know. And so the last weekend I was there, I did my thing, and I had most people just like, I didn't see it in your eyes, like, you were done. I was like, I was done, and I am done. And you know, I finished that last night, and I was just like, I can't go back. Like, I had made up my mind that night, but I was like, let me just wait until Friday morning to see how I feel. Woke up Friday morning and I was like, yep, nope, I can't do it again. If I went in there that night, I probably would have quit on the spot and walked out. And I wanted to not do that because I didn't want my friends to have to last minute reblock numbers, even though they still ended up doing it last minute because I'm pretty sure Abby didn't tell them anything until they got there that night, because I didn't tell anybody anything. I sent my text to Abby telling her I quit basically, and she just said, sounds good, thanks. And I called her out for being a narcissist and egotistical and how it's going to ruin her business if she doesn't get her shit together, and how she belittled me and bullied me for months. And she just seemed, and then her response to all of that and how she made me feel was, sounds good, thanks. I know narcissist people can't take accountability for shit. And so, like, was I really thinking that she was gonna listen to this and be like, oh, maybe she's right, maybe I do need to reflect on myself and, like, you know, try and do better? No, I highly doubt that went through her mind at all. She probably just thinks I'm a bitch and that I was a bad guy, or I was in the wrong, and finding some million excuses as to what made me a bad employee. And that's fine. She can do that, because at the end of the day, I know that can take my talents somewhere else and they'll be appreciated, and I don't need her to be successful. None of us do. So I really hope for her sake and for her business's sake that she gets it together. But do I think that that's going to happen? No. I wanted to let people know what it's like working for that person. So if anyone is thinking about wanting to audition, at least you know what you might be getting yourself into. And she's also had a past of being discriminatory against thicker women. And I am pretty sure that she was that way towards me at the end of it, which, okay, that's what, like, people were asking about me after shows, being like, who's the thick one on stage? Not in a bad way, but that's because I was the thickest girl up there, which I like being thick. Like, I'm curvy, I have an ass, and I have a body. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and it doesn't make me a bad dancer. It doesn't make me not fit in. But that's her problem, and that's her problem that she can deal with. These are all qualities that just don't go well when you're a business owner or a choreographer and director of young women who are just trying to do what they love to do and enjoy it. And she just has no care for her employees at all. So, with all of that being said, I am super happy that that chapter of my life is done and over with. I knew it was time. The universe, God, the higher power, someone was telling me, like, you need to go. Like, it's your time to go. You've done what you needed to do. This has done what it was supposed to do for you, and you can leave now. And I miss my girls so much, and I miss dancing every single weekend. Like, I miss having that outlet, but I would never go back to being treated how I was being treated when I was there. But again, I do want to say that I love everybody that I worked with. They're amazing, talented, beautiful human beings, and I really hope that it is successful for them and they enjoy what they do, and I will always be there to support them no matter what, just because, you know, I was being treated that way and I had my experience. That's not everybody else's experience, and I don't expect any of them to back me in the way that would put them at risk of their job or anything like that. I can handle myself. That concludes the end of this video, and I hope you guys, if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, whether relationship-wise, boss-wise, friendship wise, do not put up with it. Do not put up with that shit, because it only enables them to keep doing it, and they think that what they're doing is okay, and it's just gonna enable them to keep fucking with you and to keep being narcissistic and egotistical. Walk away if you can. Like, if you're in the place that you can walk away, walk away. And if you can't, like, do your best to find a solution to where you can, and say adios, because nobody deserves to be treated like that and to be treated less than because someone has an ego issue. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao!